Okay, so I'm in a different place in the room. This time I'm on the couch. This is where I was asleep. This is the other window. So this is the front window, and that's the plant light. So it's totally dark out. It's 3:30 in the morning. But and then these are the shadows of the planters and stuff back here. So you can't tell it's plants and stuff. So anyways, that is your orientation to this area. The dogs are still sleeping, but they did get up and have treats and go outside and stuff like that. But then Max always sleeps in that chair. So I was like, I'll just move this over here because it was just like, I don't know. The energy is so fucking intense still to me. And it still feels like it's just like, and I just saw somebody was explaining about these coronal mass ejection things coming out of the sun, and these X, I want to say X Factor. It's not called X Factor. X class, and I don't even know all the stuff that they how they categorize them, but these really big ones. So there was that one they were expecting. He said they were expecting it today or something to hit. And then and it's a 9 or something like that. And then he said, and then the next day there was another one blew, and he said it's a 7. But he said what's weird is that as these things come up, so how he explained it is like we have like a buffer, kind of energy that kind of makes it so we don't get the full impact. So as it comes in, it has to like filter through. But when it hits through, it like spreads it, like it makes a hole or something. And so he said, and usually there's like 24 hours so it can repair itself. But he said, so this one is going to go through, the second one's going to go through first, and it's going to make a hole because the first one's going to go through within a couple hours. He said that this has not happened before, and he said, I don't even know what to expect. I don't know how it's going to. And he said, I would expect it to be a way more impactful when the second one hits, because there's nothing that is uh, stopping it from going full speed ahead. So we're going to have more of this. Man, and when you hear about the shit going on over there, and the craziest fucking shit is going on TikTok, I got to talk about. I was just like, it was blowing my mind yesterday. And it's kind of like you're trying to wrap your head around, like, what is this conversation? Like, what is happening here? It's so strange. And it's just like it's the awareness. I don't even know how to explain it because I know it's based off of biases and stuff, and I know certain people get certain news, and it's so absurd how these people get all their news from wherever it is they get, and then all they want to do is say, well, you don't know because you get your news from Fox. It's like, for one thing, I know you people don't know because you're biased and you don't listen to what these people say, but their romance ended with that station a couple years back. So that you're barking up the wrong tree. Like, get your act together. As that went down, and then it came out who owns it and stuff. Like, that went down with the whole thing with Tucker. I thought it was a whole thing. I don't know how, these people seem to miss it, and they still use that as their weapon. Go watch Fox on. It's like, God damn, go watch MSNBC, CNN. Like, God damn, this shit that, like, it's bizarre world. So, but hair, like a hair or something just went straight up between two teeth. That was a weird feeling. Everything is so weird right now. I swear to God. So fucking weird. So, over there, I gotta say this real quick too, because people are getting more into the maps and stuff. So somebody shared the naval map really big on their video, and it's happening right now. But on the naval projected map, the one I just saw, that Florida is basically gone. Florida is basically a little fragment of what Florida was. Like a bone. Like after somebody eats a chicken leg, what's left, that's what looks like what's going to happen in Florida. The and it's in the process. And what's really getting crazy is because that they're so okay, they're talking so much about Helene and how it's so devastating. And then people were devastated, but in the normal hurricane area is one thing, and it's a whole nother thing we got going in the other place. So it's kind of absurd to keep calling it Helene when it's they did something with the dams. But anyways, but they use it as a cover, like, oh, well, no, it's only, it's like, oh, fuck off with your fucking, you guys are so fucking transparent. Like, these other people who don't see, well, there's plenty of us who do. So fuck off with your shit. Then so down there where Helene was in Florida, so it went through and was way more devastating, even though there's no comparison to what's going on in this other place. It's totally devastating, and everybody lost all their stuff. And when that happens, you have to bring all your stuff outside. It's all toxic. Isn't that so strange? Back in the day when furniture was made out of like wood and stuff, I don't know. It's like, I feel like it's like everything we own is full of poison. I mean, the water makes it more poisonous or something. It's very strange. But mattresses and all this stuff, once it gets wet, it's ruined. And so everybody takes all their stuff out of the street. I had seen that, when it flooded here. But I'm up, so I went down into the valley where it flooded, and that was like, oh, it was crazy. Stuff everywhere out in fields and stuff, but then everybody had to bring all their stuff out, and then they take these big giant trucks and they go around and they like bulldoze it, like what they're saying they're going to do at this other place. But they was like bulldozing these giant piles of all the garbage. Like they're going to treat the people like garbage. It's outrageous. So now this in Florida, so now all the sidewalks are totally full, just full, and they can't get to the stuff. And now Milton's coming, and the woman said that what's really scary is because the worst thing to have in a hurricane is projectiles, and she said it's everywhere. It's full. It's just so much. And the timing on this shit, like none of this is by accident. Like it's so crazy how evil these people are. And like they knew. And then what have I been saying? People are cleaning up from one and the next one's about to hit. It's like, well, why aren't you guys like, oh God, it's frustrating. God, this is frustrating. Fuck. But you can't go, like, it's everybody's lessons. It's everybody's stuff. And even when you see things, there's nothing you can do about it. It's your own frustration you got to work through. And when our frustration comes from different angles, it's like, definitely a part of my battle to self is wanting to fix things for people, not wanting people to feel bad. It's been my fucking worst enemy that's gotten me in so much problems in life. Feeling bad for people, not wanting people to feel bad, not wanting people to suffer. So always putting them, here in life, I was like, that story where a man would take his coat off and put it over the water so the woman didn't have to get her shoes wet, and she'd walk across. Like, this story may be so old that people like, what's that called? It's called a gentleman. It was a thing that was pushed on us back in the day, and it was a real gentleman. He would take his coat off and lay it out across the little whatever, when it rains and there's little puddles. And so he'd lay his coat out across the puddle, and the woman would walk across it. And then he'd pick his coat up, and, he's done a good deed. He's such a gentleman because she didn't have to get her feet wet. And, but that is kind of like how I was in life. It was like I would try and a lot of us, we've tried to be raincoats for people. We've tried to be umbrellas for people. That was part of the two-party system, you know, the counterbalance to come in and learn. These people learn from us and we learn from them and stuff like that. And it's not, you know, the kind of lessons that like, it's not fun. It's not fun lessons. It's hard lessons. But the hard lessons is what builds you up, you know, as now, you know, I can see things a lot more clearly. I can definitely see, you know, people have to learn for themselves. You're doing a disservice. You are doing it's toxic because it's very self-inflated. It's very much focused on you and how you feel. How do you feel about them? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about, and it's like, well, it's a bunch of nunya. That's their business. What does that have to do with how I feel about it? Like, it's kind of funny because I was just getting this image of when I go out and I'm walking the dogs and Stella, and they're all doing it. They'll stop. You know, somebody's out in their yard doing something. They all stop. And Stella's standing there like it's a goddamn stare down, like just waiting. Just make a move, make a move. And she'll stand there and stare and stare and stare. And I'm constantly, come on, Stella. They're at their own house. It's a bunch of nunya. It's nunya business. Let's go. And so anyway, that's how I kind of break them free. But it's just funny because it's always like they're always trying to get all up in everybody's business. It's like it's none of your business. But that is how we got to be in life. We want to be involved in everybody's business. We want to know what everybody else is like. You know, it's kind of like whatever your drive is. And, you know, if your drive is like not wanting people to feel bad to the point that you will sacrifice yourself, you got to learn how to have boundaries. And in that, included in the boundaries is this trust of like, well, the things have to, sometimes things hurt and sometimes things are hard. And those lessons are the things that help us grow. They've helped me grow. So how can I say these other people aren't allowed their lessons? And I'm going to jump in. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. And, so anyways, that's just something that we all have to, you know, find these balances and notice these things about ourselves and stuff. And that is in the land of givers and takers. You know, you're going to find yourself somewhere in there. So it's not like you got to go way out too far in the distance to find yourself. It's kind of like there's certain roles here playing out. There's patterns and roles. And it's like this game, you know, it's like your part in the game. And it's like being on the red team or the blue team. But then it's like everybody's got to put down their colors. That's the thing. Everybody's got to come together. But you can still understand more about yourself. And I got to talk about this one thing. This drama that is going on, because it has to do with this. And it is so motherfucking weird. Okay, so I had talked about this mother taught person, I don't know, a couple years ago. I had seen her. She popped up. I didn't know who she was or anything, and it popped up that her son had been murdered, and she was super devastated, and she was doing all this publicly, and so you know it was like, what is the motivation here? And then I went in and I saw, oh, she's I don't know, a TikTok influencer or something, so she has this big following of people. And so, what I had seen on her videos, it was kind of just like this phony uplifting everything. Let's just look at the fun part. Let's just, okay, no, look over there. And so I was kind of curious as, you know, some realist, watching how in the awakening, the double, both sides, how it was going to affect her, you know, if it was, because those are real. That's a real loss. It's real. You can't pretend through that. And I didn't keep up on all her stuff, so I don't know. But she has remained top of the food chain or something on TikTok. She's a long following. She says she went on in 2020. So whatever, she picked up this big following and she's had them this whole time. It's not like she just gained them. There's the one girl who had the rug out in the yard who gained all that following. She gained, and you know, a smart thing that she should do is start her own fucking crime podcast. She kept being like, I want to be on a crime podcast. I want to be on a crime podcast. It's like, dude, if that's your desire, you've got all these people now, and you've got to be making contacts with other people who are interested in different cases and stuff, and talking about, like, you got all these sleuths, like her fucking thing, like, on one of her videos, it would go to 6.2 million super fast. Like she had everybody, and everybody is kind of well, it's kind of scatter in all different directions. I definitely have my opinion about the rug situation. From what I had witnessed, it was she had way too many eyes on it, and the cops, if they're trying to do an investigation, they don't want all these eyes on it. And there was I overheard a conversation off of a ring, I don't know, some camera or something. There was so many people out there filming while it was live. There was people who, I guess, neighbors, I don't even know who all got involved in this thing. It was huge. And so she, the person who was, still was moving around. So the lady who, the cops were out there digging. So all these people are alive. And somebody comes out there and they're bitching and complaining and saying something to the cops. And the cops said, yeah, well, it's not us. It's, it's your neighbor lady. She's got all these people involved. And you can't hear the lady so much, but you can hear the cop again say something. But you can clearly hear, like, I don't know. I can hear things that other people can't hear. And it was, how can you do a reasonable investigation when you got all these people involved and stuff? So I thought this is kind of if something is found, they're not going to be telling her. Like, that would impede their investigation. And so then they said, oh, well, there was nothing. The rug is nothing. Well, all these people are like, there's no way those two dogs hit on that. And there's a rug there and all that. There's something going on. So there's some people say that. Then there's some people saying, oh, it was all fake. She planted it. Like, there's everything that can happen. Everybody's perspective. And I'm in the perspective of that, because to me, I lived in Spokane, like where there was a serial killer guy who was burying people in their yard, and the family didn't even know about it. So that's my reference, And so the weird shit goes on. Like, there's people who go out killing in the night, and their families are snug in their bed, and they tell them they're going out to get a pack of cigarettes. They're going out to get a prostitute to do, and then they take them in the backyard and put them out back. Which the family could have claimed, hey, this is our property. This is our family plot or something. Because there's the whole thing about that. Once you have a family plot on your land, they can't tax it. They can't take it. There's like a whole thing. That's why they wanted us to all go to cemeteries and stuff. Then it was like, well, let's tell them all to burn each other. Let's just go back to the cremation. Then it turns into, no, well, let's stop. I mean, we got to take advantage of all this protein. Let's just spray it on the food. Let's just pour it right in their drinks. Like, it's so disturbing. Oh my God. Soylent Green was my fucking nightmare when I was a kid. I knew it was coming to. I knew it. So anyways, so the people, I was going to say the lady. So, I gotta get back to the story where I was at. So I skipped off of Mama Tot, and I went on to, I think, did I skip off of Mama Tot? Maybe I'm back up. Maybe I was still on Mama Tot. I don't know where I was really. I can't remember. But but I'll go back to Mama Tot because I probably will. Somehow it always works on. I say whatever I'm supposed to say because otherwise I can't see it, whatever. So so on Mama Tot. So anyway, so she has this big following. And so I was kind of trying to see, how she handled it in this awakening, because you got to feel real stuff. And there's so many people who are fake and phony, and so many big accounts. That's what it's all built on, this fake and phony. That's why there's going to be such a big collapse of that genre, because it's all artificial, it's fake, it's phony, it's all like, oh, I've got no problems, I'm so perfect. And, like these people, I like these girls complaining about, like, if you're going to be doing beauty products, don't use filters. Like, how can we even tell what the fuck? But that's how absurd it is. This place is, it's just absurd. And people are so fucking fake, and they're so comfortable being fake. And some people are having like like a kickback, like it's kind of making them angry. Those of us who don't feel like we need to put on makeup and stuff like that, but they don't realize like that's a part of you having to become comfortable with you. It's not like we think we're better or something. It's just like you get comfortable just being raw, being yourself, and not feeling like, well, you have to go put this on or that on, which, I just saw is there's a lot with Pamela Anderson because she's doing it so publicly and she was such a sex symbol, all the makeup and stuff. She was like the leader of that era. Like that's what the plastic surgeons were trying to get us all to look like fucking Pamela Anderson back then. And so now to see her come out is, wanting to just be real and raw and just stop with all of the fake and the phony and just be herself. And I just think, mad respect to her because she gets really attacked over it. Like people say really harsh things to her and mean, like bully stuff, like how dare her, disappoint them. Like you got to stay looking like a sex symbol your whole life or something. You can't switch. And especially when an uncomfortable thing, because a lot of women who are using your sex symbol, they start realizing, this other part of themselves that needs to heal. And so it's a healing journey to move out of that kind of range of explicit what is that? No, not explicit, not exposing, exploiting yourself. People exploit themselves. And so so there's healing that has to be done from that. And because you have to go in and be like, why did I lower myself? Why did I not have respect for myself? Why did I, sell myself on, my boobs and my ass and my fake blonde hair, my big ass lashes or whatever the fuck. Because it was a whole look. There was all these girls, and it was like I don't know. To me, it's the Playboy Bunny era of man like of mankind. Yeah, was a certain style and look of these girls, and it would make a lot of us, the rest of us, feel like plain or whatever. So now they get to go through, the letting go of that fake side of themselves. And anyways, I just think that that's really cool that she just keeps going. And it's funny. It's not funny because I know it really is like the people really are confused, when they are so trapped in their makeup and stuff and feeling so uncomfortable to not be able to go out. And it's, pissing them off. Like it's people who are comfortable, then it's kind of making them more like, what's wrong with me? But that's what everything is, to push you to question yourself, to push you into these other things. So those are all supposed to be happening naturally. So that is the way it's supposed to be going. People are supposed to be looking around going like, because that is where the standards change. That's where everything starts changing. And it is about us becoming just more comfortable in ourselves, more comfortable in our own skin, loving ourselves. Why do we need to change anything? I mean, how often do you see deers out there trying to change themselves, or bears or whatever? So it's not natural to feel like you have to change yourself to be acceptable. And it's kind of like this drive that they kind of initiated inside of us, but it creates this never feeling good enough, never feeling complete, never feeling like you're enough. And it's all a part of like their beauty standard setup and stuff, because everybody, any, like they could take any person, you could take any person, and this has been shown in movies and stuff, and then turn them into the beauty standard. You could, put the clothes on them that look really good, put the hairstyle that really accentuates their features, just get them all in their prime, all in their perfection, and set them out there. Any person, and set them out there, and everybody would be like, oh my God, they're so cute. Oh my gosh, look at them. They're so put together, because that's what our goal is, to put ourselves together, to feel like we are put together. And when we go in and we start breaking down like ourselves into parts, and then we are hard on ourselves, like our nose isn't good enough. Look at that's the perfect nose. If I had that nose, I would look perfect. It is this part, of breaking us down and breaking us down, and feeling disappointed and feeling like God makes mistakes. And I hear that kind of stuff all the time, like people got dealt this shitty hand. And so, and people who are overweight right now are becoming very uncomfortable in their skin, crying and stuff. And it's, because your soul is pushing you to make a change, and you got to let go, and you're holding on to a lot of pain. So you got to just process through it. And you got to remember, when you put on weight, it's a barrier, it's something to protect you. So you've built walls around yourself. So it's going to be painful to break those walls down, because you got to figure out like what they were put up for in order to take them down. So when you take them down, it's going to be emotional. You're going to go through stuff, and you're going to feel raw. You're going to feel exposed. You're going to feel like everybody can see you. And I still say it's a good thing to heal. Like some girls who don't, and then they go get this fine body, and they're not, they don't know. Like guys out there will say they like you when they don't, just because they really like you, but it just long enough for them to finish, and then it's like you're just like everybody else. And when girls are just finding themselves and stuff, they go out and then they feel like, oh, like this is what it's like to be thin and stuff. Yeah, well, you're gonna find out. Like guys just use you. It's not like you get like, oh, great guys, because with this illusion of pretty privilege is just absurd. But these people, they start believing that. It's the same thing with, rich people have it better. Like all these people, they just always think somebody's got better, somebody's got better. They've got it, and it's not like that. Anything that you do, that you become your best, that people will notice, and people will desire to follow along, to find that same completion in themselves. And that is what we're in this path to. This is what is occurring for people. And so yeah, it's curious, because I like to watch and see how some of these people play shit out. And on the Mom and Todd thing, so she'd had that big traumatic event, or someone's murdered. It was really sad and stuff. And I don't know how long she had been on then. It seems like it was like, time is so weird. So it's almost 25. So I guess it would have been like 22 or something, because I've known who she is, but I don't follow her, because like I said, it just seemed like these kind of phony kind of videos, like, and she's very Southern, and that always seems kind of like, I don't know, some of these people really lean in to these things to build these characters. And so they build these characters. Oh yeah, there was like a character way back. Who was that girl? It was way back. There was a show called Hee Haw. And there was a lady, she would, I think she was a comedian. Maybe she was a song and dance person. There was a lot of song and dance people. And then, so they could do like a whole bunch of different things, like just entertainers. They were just entertainers. Like in a burlesque show or something, they could come out and sing, dance, do little acts and stuff like that. So there was a lot of people who were like multi, faceted entertainers. And, so I'm not sure. It seems like she was a comedian, though. I can't remember what she was called, but she would always wear this hat with this price tag. But she was like a caricature of a person. So it's like creating a stereotype that there's people who lean into that to create their own, because they've seen it work out there. So then they do it for themselves, and they create. So to me, when I would see her, that's what I took her as. I took her as a character, like she's created a character. And I didn't see it as like authentic. I didn't see her content as being anything I was interested in, talking about shoes and where to eat your lunch and stuff. So I was, I wasn't following her. But now she's popped back up in another big drama. And this one was really confusing. I was like, what is going on? I was trying to figure out, okay, so who hates her and who likes her? And it was very vague. Like all these videos that are coming and talking all of this stuff, all this smackdown on her. Something's growling like crazy. All of this smackdown that is going on her. She, it was still being so vague. It's like, what? I couldn't understand who was hating on her so much. She had triggered this huge divide. It's like it's like the red and the blue's last stand. It's like Custer's last stand is Mama Todd with the red and the blue at odds. It's like it's mental though. And so apparently, I don't think that she ever spoke of, what she thought about politics, because she was just talking about where to eat lunch and what shoes to wear, kind of stuff. And so then, but I don't know. She may have, but it doesn't seem like it. And what everybody is saying is like, she gave a safe space. Like anyone who had any problems through all this stuff since 2020, she's been there for them. She's been a safe space. She's been there to support people. But it seems that it was heavy in the Rainbow region. And the Rainbow are very disappointed. They feel very taken advantage of. They're very upset. And you have some that are just downright, I don't know, I'm hearing like liberal masticoids or something. I don't even know, like it's like mastification, like chewing. So there's like liberal chewing on it. And they're very angry and very, but we have this on all sides. This is, and we have it in all ranges. But so this is really coming to the surface on this content though. So they are, and what they're mad about is, so what she did, so she's taken the video down now, and that's only pissed more people off. So what she did was she went on some rant, and I heard the rant. I heard it when she did it. And even when she was ranting, I was like, I'm not quite sure who she's saying that she's against. Like, it was not even clear to me, but these people who follow her, it became very clear to them. Like, man, it become clear quick. Like, they all went mental. So to me, I couldn't hear it. I was like, so she just sounds mad because of what's going on over in the, damned hurricane region. And that the four-letter agency that is confiscating things, and now even Kamala is saying, oh, we're going to send all resources to Lebanon because this is so horrible what's happening in Lebanon. It's like, oh my fucking God, this stuff is so aggravating. It's all a part of the show. It's all a part of showing, and her husband being involved. And now it's coming out, it was her cocaine at the party. Like, her husband's the highest investor in this whole situation with this lithium grab over here. It's like all of this absurd shit, man. So Lebanon's got such a crisis. We're going to send them $154 billion right now. And we're going to send more too. Like, this is horrible. This is devastation for these people. There's like 60, they were thinking 65,000, or there's so many missing people. And when they go up, they find like, in one cove, it was like 100 bodies. And there's bodies all in trees. There's bodies that are tore apart. There's bodies that are stuffed in things. There's all sorts of stuff. It's really, really horrible. It is, and then when you go on the roads, and this is, the mountain people, like, there's such an attack on these people. Fuck, man. It's just as though, because it is just the same as the people of the different darknesses. Because in Hawaii, those people, that tribe of people, and the attack on them. Then the nonstop attack on the dark-skinned people. Then, and then, I mean, honestly, I don't know how people can't see the attack on the other people. Like, we have the instigators over here. They're supposed to blend in with the crowd. That's why they brought the crowd over. But the abuses, like, the promises that were made for these people to come over here, and then what they're doing, and I don't even know all of this shenanigans. like if they really are really giving them all this money and stuff, I think that there's some that is really struggling, that really want to go back home, that are really like in the streets too, that are really like, fuck, is this what America is about? Like, why the hell did I come over here? And I don't think they're all just living high on the hog in hotels and $15,000 credit. So I don't know. Um, this is definitely to expose us, the criminals that run this place. And to me, it's quite clear. But then the other people get always focused on the other part of it, the criminals that are like, it's weird. Like, it's all in different perspectives of reality. So to me, I can clearly see that they are fucking all these people over. But the people up in the mountains are just as hated. And people think, oh, well, white people. And then you have all these people saying, like, these people deserve it and stuff, like they're all racist and stuff. I mean, that just shows your biases. And it shows, like, why when the people, like the hillbilly documentary and stuff, why they say, like, they get people to look at them like they're hillbillies and think that they don't matter, they don't count. And then you got them like, oh, well, these hillbillies and the sundown towns and stuff like that, like how they look at it is so that you don't see the value in these people while they're destroying them and killing them right in front of you. And you're just passive about it because they don't have any value to you, because out of your biases that you have gotten built through your programming, those people are expendable. They've got, they're racist or whatever. I mean, there was that one girl who was like literally cheering. She was so excited that so many racists were killed. It's like, it's mental. Like, people are mental. So the so you have all of the just whole sides of the mountains went down. So the roads are completely gone. Like, I've saw some footage of people like they're trying to walk on cliffs and stuff in big, huge drops. Like, it looks fucking terrifying. And there's so many little mountain places that there's just people that they just know are just trapped up there. There's no way to get to them. They can be dead. They can be dying. And the people have no way to get out. It's just like, but one thing though about the people, especially the people up in the high mountains, is that they are survivors. Like, they know how, like, you can't live up like that and not know how to survive. So, some of those people will, when it's someone's time to go, they're going to go. So there's nothing we can do about that. And I said there was going to be huge amounts of people leaving at once. And this is just one. There's about to be a couple more. And they're going to be, big. So this Milton's about to hit over here in Florida. So they've got all this stuff out in the streets that's going to turn into projectiles. They're saying there's no way. Milton is not survivable. It's 100% not survivable. It's headed straight for Tampa. They're saying everybody in the line of that whole thing needs to completely evacuate. People are not going to. Like, we're just going to face the fact. There's going to be devastation. There's going to be death. There's going to be a lot of tragic shit that's about to go down. And and especially Florida, this is the end. Like, this is what I'm saying, is where people who were in these areas, if they looked at the map and they saw, like, fuck, there's no hope. We may as well just take off. We may as well just take what we got and head somewhere else, because this isn't stopping. This land is going to be gone. It's going underwater. And so so this storm is going to hit, and there's no telling how it's going to go. And there's another one coming right behind it. So there's no telling how this is going to go down this week. I would say there's going to be a lot more people are going to die, and a lot more places are going to be underwater, even though the water in this area has receded, but it's changing the landscape. Like, something's going to go down. And it's going to, a lot of places are going to fill with water. And that is where, over in those areas, it looks like the exact place that it splits up in the map is the exact place that is having all these issues. So to me, it seems like in those areas, it's like you need to look in the map more of a region that looks like it's going to stay more dry or more inland, but there's still going to be like, we can't run from the inevitable. If you're meant to be taken out by the storms, you can't run from it. But that doesn't mean you just sit there and uh, become passive either. Uh, but um, but whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And so you can run from a hurricane and run right into a tornado. So there's all sorts of, like over here, we got the volcanoes and the earthquakes and stuff, but what am I going to do? Like if everything's being watched, like they're watching these things and I'm being alert about it, I'm watching. And so that map I just saw of the naval one. So Florida is just like a little tiny, chicken leg bone of what it used to be. And when this map, and then the part where it splits up, so that big chunk that goes up from the lower, uh, kind of like the mid region, through like the east up through the south, it's like southeast just splits. And then that also happens over in the southwest, like a huge split goes up through. And it probably is going to be one of these storms. Maybe that's what's going to come up through Mexico and New Mexico or something and go up through that way. Because it seems like it really goes up through there. And then California chunks out like that. And so it looks like it like goes off on this side. Like it cuts off. But then it goes a big, huge bite coming up from the top, from the bottom up. And it's the same on the other side. So something from the water rising from this direction, from the south. And we got these hurricanes coming. And then, they conveniently knock out dams. So then, even though, it's a new thing when a hurricane can travel through the mountain ranges and everything, like, it's so absurd. It's so absurd. So okay, so, and then up by me, so it keeps cutting off up there. It's through Seattle's gone. All of that is just gone. But when you look at the map, where the peninsula thing is, so it's like the water comes back to where that is, and that is my safety thing. Because it looks like on that map, I'm going to be more coastal. I'll be fine. That doesn't mean we're not gonna like, we've got fucking tree, we've got like, there's gonna be shit that's gonna go down. I still think, and I still don't know like how the water, any of the things. Like I wish I had a Jeep and a boat. It would be handy. A Jeep and a boat, but still, even with the boats and stuff, like the waters are so crazy that it would just be flipping your boat and stuff. So it's not like you could just ride out some of these crazy storms, but it just is like there's going to be so much water. It just seems like a convenient way to be able to get around at some point. So, but the Jeeps can go through rugged, but some of this stuff that I've seen over there with these roads washed out, a Jeep, like, no, there's a guy who has a big farm who is using his mules and bringing stuff. And it's so cool looking when you see it. It's like all these mules, just like the olden days. And they all are strapped down with all this stuff. And he's going and he's showing the camera and he's on his horse and he's got this whole thing of mules carrying all the pack of stuff. It's cool as fucking shit. I was like, there's no fucking way I'm getting a goddamn mule. I'm gonna get a mule, a donkey, and a horse. And I'm gonna get goats and pigs and shit too. I want all of that stuff. I want to live with the animals. Not live. I don't want to live in the doghouse. Actually, I want them to have their own. But I do want to be around animals. I don't know. They're just like, they bring me joy. So and it's all this stuff that's going down and, it's killing lots of animals, killing so many animals. I saw a lady crying that all her animals got killed. So, and it's bringing up all sorts of stuff. Like, there was some wedding venue place and all their animals, and a loved donkey got killed. And so all the people are very mad because they didn't move their animals. They left them in their barn or tied up or something. Like, there's so much stuff. But anyways, back on this mom and hot thing. So she was sitting there saying about um, the bullshit that's going on over here. And she's just so fucking mad. She can't even believe how mad she is that this is happening. And she's very Southern, so, I'm sure she's probably knows people who this is happening to. This is happening down in the South, where they already, like, if you go over on the West Coast, people don't give a fuck about people in the South. They're so brainwashed and biased. They just look at them all as a bunch of fucking ignoramuses. And then also the mountain people, like people just look at them as like they're hillbillies, have no value and stuff. And see, that's what I'm saying. People's biases keeps them detached, so they don't see things clearly. They just excuse certain behaviors because of their own biases. But this is where the universe is going to make sure that they crystal clear see their own biases, and it's going to hurt. All the lessons are not fun, and so anyway, so she is saying this stuff, that she's really mad. And so I thought, she's mad about what's happening over there because, yeah, it's disgusting. And it's and there's so many videos of it. So many. I am motherfucking, like, what? There's so fucking many videos of people in the midst of the devastation showing what's happening, showing that the people are not coming and helping them. They're not coming and giving money. They're taking, like, it is so bizarre, the stuff that is happening over there. Just like that, oh, well, we don't need body bags anymore. We're just going to scoop them in bulldozers and stuff. And like, that's their rescue, is what these people are having. And now they also have people are showing up at their doors, knocking, wearing orange vests, and coming in saying they've got to look at their electric panel to put the power back on. And they come in and then they attack them and rob them. And all the looting. So anything that has any value left that they've got, the instigators, their planned people are already in there taking stuff. Little kids are out there just wandering around, lost from their parents. Well, you know who's scooping those motherfuckers up. That's the only reason those agencies come there, is just to scoop up those. They don't give a shit. And and I don't know, Mother Todd's affiliation to any information, what she ranges on, but she definitely could see. What blows your mind is because this is where the argument starts, because half of her fucking people, like, they've started unfollowing her, they have started attacking her, they are losing their motherfucking minds because she's spreading misinformation. I went like, what? That's what you're mad about? You're mad because she's spreading misinformation? Y'all think that this is misinformation? Like, what in the holy hell? This has blown my fucking mind. You're telling me there is, I mean, there's got to be thousands of videos. But this is what I saw in 2020 on Twitter. This is where I blew my mind then. Where there was, and this was during the RIOTSs and the ANT people. And so there was video after video after video. It was all fucking day long. There was people who were live, just how there is now on TikTok, on Twitter. There was people who were live at those things. And I don't know where, because some of these people they're live on Instagram, live on Facebook and stuff, and then they put the videos on there. I don't know if there's a feature of being live on TikTok, but you saw all these live action videos that were happening. And you saw the shit going down. And then you would have people who would say, like, no, that's not going down. And it's like, well, I fucking watched it go down. And they're like, nope, that's not happening. That's not happening. And it's like, okay, what in the fucking weirdo world is happening here? And so that is where we're at with this. There's all these videos of all of this happening. People talking about it. Testimonial after testimonial. I mean, and I think the FEMA guy did get his ass kicked. There's so many videos talking about it, and that he got jumped because they're not giving these people, because what is happening, and they're taking stuff. And not only that, there's a whole thing about they're taking the supply, because you got to remember, this is to just piss us off. This is the absurdity. This is the awakening. This is to get us to see who we're dealing with in the biggest, harshest way possible. They're taking the donations, and they're taking them into another place, into another city, and giving it to the migrants. So, of course, that's what's going to be what's going on, because they're exposing the corruption behind these blue people. I saw a video of this guy down at the airport, and he must be down there all the time, and getting these fucking kids. Oh my God. I could not believe the videos I just saw of his. I am just, oh my God, it's disgusting. Just bringing all these kids over, taking them in vans, trying to hide it and stuff. And the guy was showing, and they won't talk to him. They even had all the kids, because then he went up to a group where this woman, she had a bunch of teenagers, and they're wearing badges. Like, I'm sure they have some kind of official thing, it looks like, to these different families that are taking, like, oh, well, we're officials, we'll take your kids. Oh, motherfuck, God. And then, it's just so disgusting. I swear to God, I just feel, I feel empty. I feel emotionally just empty. It's just so fucking, so much sad. But that is the part where it's like, well, these are all these different souls' experiences. Like, there's not anything that we can do. Like, it's just, fuck, man. It's horrible to watch this shit. And I know that it's horrible is because these are stories that we're bringing forward. This is what changes things for man. This is, the things that we witness. The things that, and there's already all these people. Like, there's so many stories, I guess. Everybody's got a hurricane story now. So, see, that's going to be the thing. There's going to be so many stories as we move forward of what people went through and what people overcame and stuff. That's what's going to be the change in humanity. And so, everybody's going to have dramatic stories. And so they're going to keep going. But it's interesting because there was like a few different things. So on the Mama Tata, and so for one thing, all of these people who follow along with her, and that they would be disappointed. Like, it makes that much difference over who she's going to VOTE for. Like, you're going to get that mad over somebody you supposedly like. And then you got to be coming out of the woodworks, of people who don't like her. But that was the same with me. I had no interest in her. There's tons of people. I knew it. And this perturbed me this morning. This is a little off from that, but but I knew this was coming too. The people coming out of the closet of really believing in aliens. Oh my God. Yeah. And how many parties did you laugh at the people who were talking about it? So good. I'm glad you're coming out of the closet now, because with all your expertise, thank you so much. It's like fucking. So the people who are that upset with her over that, then they're so upset because she's been there for these Rainbow Coalition, and how can anything that she's ever said be true now? How can you believe anything that she's ever there for you? How can you even try? Like, you can't even believe the videos of like the mental illness that is happening over this. And it blows my mind how these people think like this is misinformation. It's creepy. It's creepy that this many people think this is misinformation of what is happening over there, especially when it's nonstop, video after video after video, showing and talking about it. And see that all their biases, you think they're going to go listen to those people? No, as far as they're concerned, well, those people are racist. They got what they deserved. And this part is going to be something inside of them that they're going to have to face. This hatefulness, this ignorance, this bias, this inability to look around and see what's happening. Like, there's so much shit that people are going to have to face. And then on her, so I was curious to see, like, what's she going to do with this now? Now she's got this fucking storm of brewing. She's getting hate. She's getting people not following her. It's turning into this whole thing, which in a shift then she would pick up other people who would have mad respect for her if she stood her ground, but she's not standing her ground. She took down the video. She backtracked. She went and did another video saying that she's not going to go political. She's going to be there for people and all this stuff. Then I saw another video this morning. Like, all of a sudden, her videos popping up. All this shit, Mama Top popping up for me. And then talking about a wig. So it's just, slide right over. We're just going to talk about wigs. We're just going to talk about fake hair and how great it is. And then, so I would say the pressure of, losing followers or something would be more of than her speaking her truth, standing up for herself, being authentic. You see how I'm saying how this stuff is playing out? So these certain things, and so I had said before that some of these people have a big following. It's a lot of pressure. So it's a lot of pressure for them because they're, they've got these people attacking them and they're disappointing people and all that stuff. And you got to push through your own authenticity. Something ignited it, something triggered it, and then you're trying to repress it and suppress it and then not letting it go forward. And going forward, yeah, you're going to have some debris that's going to fall away, but you're also going to pick up people who are more in alignment with you, who are more vibe with you. But so she decided to stay with her people, that was the safest thing for her. I don't know how it's going to keep going because I was, I thought that the devastating of her having her son, but that didn't change her content. It still stayed the same. But I don't know, because there's a lot of people who felt like that she really cared about them, or she was really there for them at a hard time or something. So I don't know the relationships that were developed through all this and how all these people became so reliant on her and it being so heavy on the rainbow. Like, I don't even know what her content is, what she's out there pushing to get such a... But we all already know that how fragile those people are that have everything writing on the letters, of in the promotion by the government of accepting these people, but the people are being used just like the fucking what are those people called? The Venezuelans or whatever. The people who were brought over here to hide the other people are being used just like these other people. Just like the blues are being used by the Z's. Like, all of these people, they just use you so that they can be a part of the crowd. So, but people have got to start seeing for themselves. They got to see through stuff. And I think the only reason that people don't see through things is because of where they keep their mind play going, what they keep focused on. And I am seeing more videos now of people realizing, like, oh my gosh, I'm clairaudient. I didn't realize. Like, when I'm conversing in my mind, I'm really talking to, people are catching on. Like, I'm not just saying crazy shit. And that is stuff that I would say to really work on, is trying to decipher the communication inside your mind so that you will, I don't know, I think it will help you with your clarity on things and understanding yourself and what energy that you have around you. Because a lot of people have dark energy around them and they don't realize how much the dark influences them. And I think because there's just so much stuff. Like, there's so many like little things you get ahead on. Like the thing, the rapture has already happened and the people who are left, it's like all the people are left except for the people who have died. So but I knew some kind of thing would go on, but I haven't talked to my mom because I'm sure she would say, oh, it's not, you'll know when the rapture happens because I won't be here anymore. Okay, Mom. So that's what, I'm not even going to say anything to her because I know that I already know what the comeback will be. She's not going to be here for the tribulation. She's friends with Jesus. So that's all there is to it. Jesus is coming to take his friends, and they're going to all go up and watch us all burn in hell and watch us suffer. So that's the party. She's got an invite. So I'll tell you when. But anyways, we'll see how it all plays out. So but anyways, in the Mama Todd thing, we'll see how that all plays out. But this, to me, is like more of these people just locking in their answers of, of themselves, like showing this side of themselves. And, we can see it. like that matters because it's a bunch of nunya. But it's but it's locking it in for themselves. See, they've made a stand on something. So when everything flips, they're going to really see their own stand. And there's so much, like there's so much about this with the biases, because that is what the whole thing that is built up on the TDS and stuff. And so there's so many people that are so biased and they have no idea. They really think they hate the right people and love the right, and you know, they think that they're they think that they're right. They think that like, I can't even tell you how many times I've seen this. You know, the MAGA people need to wake up. The MAGA people are a cult. The MAGA people are under some kind of hypnosis and all this stuff. It's like, that's what I mean. Their world is about to flip upside down because they are the people who they're talking about and they don't realize it. So it's just weird to watch this play out. And it's got to be getting close, especially when we got this storm coming. We got all these fucking dead people over there. And the stuff in the cities, like, there's a girl who I follow in California, and she's van life. And she's older, and she's got a dog. And so but she stays caravanning with her son, and he's van life. So she's got family around her, usually. And the things that kind of scare me about it are things that I'm watching her experience. And she has partners still. Like, she has you know, other people with her. She's not completely on her own. Like, I would be on my own if I went and did van life and just me and the dogs and took off. Then, you know, I definitely would not go to California. Like, fuck. Like, the stuff I've seen her go through, the smoke, the fires, the wind, the storms, like, it's just all sorts of different craziness all the time. And weird things about, like, parking. There's just a lot. And she's had some very scary nights, that's for sure. But last night, well, tonight, because it's still the middle of the night, is, so she was in her van, and she had just finished, because she goes live every day. And she had finished, and so she did this video because there started being explosions. While she's talking, you hear the explosions. She said there started being explosions, and you start hearing all these sirens. While she's talking, you hear more explosions, and she's just like, you know, this is so scary. This is so scary. And you're in a van, you know. And even when people come up and trying to get in it and stuff, and there's no windows and stuff, and she'll sit in there real quiet. And she's not the only girl I've seen go through that, where somebody's trying to get in her van and she's in there like, fuck. And my dogs would go mental. They would be barking their heads off. And I don't know if that would deter people, because some people, like, they just, you know, they come ready. It's so weird. Like what do you think this van has that's so valuable? Like, how desperate are these people? Like, you're going into flood zones where everything is ruined and you're looting? Like, what in the holy hell? Like, people's standards, like, I don't know. You're going to be looting. Why wouldn't you go into the city where there's stores and stuff? Why would you go steal poor people's stuff? Like, that's so fucking, it's bullshit, man. But that's not where we go. You know, you're not on our side. You're against us. So, and that's what's going to become more and more clear, who's really against us and who's really for us. And you have all these people who are coming together, who are going out and helping other people, and they are, and that's why everything is happening, you know, to bring us into that place. So it's really beautiful to see that happening and see people changing and coming together and stuff. And people, you know, I don't know, waking up and seeing the government leaving and taking more responsibility for themselves and their life, you know, because this government people aren't going to do shit for us. And even when they sit there and say this absurd shit about this money, it's just launder. It's just sending money around. They just use it for excuses. There's not money that goes to anybody. They don't help anybody. They don't help the fucking people in Ukraine. They don't help the fucking people in the Lebanon. You know, they don't help any of these fucking people. They don't help us. They don't help anybody. They help themselves. They help themselves to the kids that are flying over in the airports, getting in black vans and being driven off by people with badges. That's what they fucking use all their goddamn fucking money for. And surprised that they don't have just private planes. I bet they do. I mean, they bought private fucking submarines to move them around and shit. They fucking buy these goddamn big trailer things that go out in the water. Oh, and that is something I heard about the port thing. That shut down for those couple of days was the changeover because now everything is tracked different. They changed the system over because we're going into this new system. The system was set up before, so there could be ways to not track things, but now everything is going to be tracked. So I don't know. That is but that's where we're headed. We are going into that. So I can't guarantee you that for sure happened, but that's, the word in the telephone line is that's what happened. There's some more things too. There's some more little telephone line goss out there. We're just like, I don't know. Hopefully all this stuff, I know that all this stuff is going to happen. Like we're headed for it. It's just like, I just feel like that we have more tragedies that are going to be coming as we're getting there. And this big CME thing that's supposed to be hitting today, and then a little while later, a bigger one that could put out our power and stuff. I'm going to say Sunday. So, man, anything can happen leading into Monday. Because it's just gonna keep building and building. It's gonna keep getting crazier and crazier. And what's so weird too is when you see this footage of people like in the city walking around, and like that van girl, she's in Orange County, but it's the city. All of California coastline is just fucking city going up the coast. They're just different names going, but it's all city. And so in all of the places where there's a lot of people and cities and stuff, it's just becoming run down and just raunchy, people in the streets. Yeah, even when you hear people live or something, you still hear other conversations of crazy people, and there's people, it's just mental out there. And it's weird as like, because back before, like people who lived in the city, they would have these cool ass apartments. It was like the city life. It was like, to me, being a mom, especially a single mom and stuff, is like, fuck, man. To have a loft in the city, just walk out, go down to restaurants, walk around town and stuff. Like, boy, that's the life. And not living out in the suburbs and all surrounded by schools and kids and driving a long ways to get to work and all this stuff. So it just seemed like, man, that's the life. And knowing the hospital I would work at was downtown. And so I would just think like, man, I want to move down here. I want to move down and live in a loft in the downtown. And I did look into it. I don't remember when, and I don't remember. I think it was more about like I really wanted a yard for my dog or dogs or whatever. I don't remember how many dogs I had at the time I was looking, because they were they were redoing a bunch of different buildings downtown and turning them into loft apartments and stuff. And anyways, so I've always thought that was cool. I even thought like, God, to go live in New York and live in the city and stuff. But now I look at it so opposite. And I'm like, fuck, and these people pay this big money to live in these places. And now they're so run down. They're so disgusting. They're so, and there's dangerous. There's poop and pee everywhere. It stinks. The drugged out people everywhere. But see, this is the deterioration of the cities. It's going to keep going this way. And this is kind of like the soft evacuation to get people to be like, oh, this is like not how I want to live, and start moving out of the cities, because there is going to be a point where there's going to be some kind of shit. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be missiles, if it's going to be what it is. And it could be today, for all I fucking know. But something is going to go down in these cities. And it may be different things in different ones. Like Seattle, maybe it'll be like the tsunami. In San Francisco, LA, earthquake. In Oregon, Portland, earthquake. Because it's right off of there's a lot of activity off of right outside of Oregon and out by Vancouver. See, this whole coastline is going to be affected by all these different things because we have the volcanoes, the earthquakes, and the tsunami, and we're in the ring of fire. So everything that happens across the bay and across the ocean reverberates over here. And so there's all sorts of shit going on over there, and it's a reverberation with these tectonic plates. So everything is unsettled because everything is going to be shifting. All these different places are going to be going underwater and stuff. But it's, it's a part of the earth, just to me, it's like a rolling over. It's like when you've been laying in one place too long and you're uncomfortable and you just roll over, and then you look at the parts that have been exposed and how they're so trampled and beat down, and I hear revenge, the avenge, but it is like we've just trampled her with no respect. People waste products on her, just like don't give a shit. So it's going to go underwater, and that disrespect is going to come back and bite them in the ass. That is part of like where people think of the wrath of God is coming. It's just the what goes around comes around. It's not God up there like, oh, you'll shut it on there, so I'll fuck you. No, it's just that's how energy works. What goes around comes around, and what they've been putting out is going to come back and bite them in the ass. And so that is what's going to go down. And the people who are in the cities who wake up and make different choices for themselves and evacuate and move out, then they will not be affected. But it's just so weird because it has so much to do with how much abuse we will take. Like these people pay all this big money, and as their neighborhoods are falling apart and deteriorating, that they're still willing to do it. And to me, I think it has something to do with, well, for sure, jobs. But it's still, there's some attachment to ego of lifestyle. And people build up their ego on their lifestyle, and then it's like they don't want to call it quits. They don't want to be like, I did that in my last marriage. It's like, fuck, I'm gonna get divorced again. It's like, fuck, man, I've got to stay married this time. But thank God he didn't want to be. So fucking thank God, because I was like, fuck, I can't handle the humiliation of another goddamn divorce. We're just gonna be fucking laughing at me. Thank God he didn't give a shit. So, now I find myself where I'm at, not where I was. Oh my God. Thank you, Lord Jesus. So that is, change can hurt though. It was rough. It went through some tough times through that, but you get where you're going, and you're happy when you get there. So the people who are in the cities and stuff, I think they need to be evacuating, reevaluating, and making changes. We all are going to have to. Well, I'm just keep going with the flow. Like I know that the universe will open a door, and it's not one that you have to sit there and force. You don't have to fucking get out the goddamn tools out of the shed and try and pry that goddamn door open to make it happen. That's not how the universe works. That's you, and that's what you will see. At some point, you'll see like, oh my God, I was trying to force it. If I would have just relaxed, then things could have gone different. But I thought I knew what was best, and that's where we gotta trust. Like the universe knows what's best. And they have doors that will open automatically for you when the time is right. And you can sit there and feel like you know what's right, you know what you need, you know this, you know that. But the universe has a broader perspective. You have a very limited perspective. So you got to go with the ones that are out there with the broader perspective, and they know what's right for you. And then you got to build your relationship with them and learn how to trust that you are a priority, that you are valuable, that and nothing can hurt you. And I know it's super devastating. All these, there's so much death, and people are laying there with horrifying looks on their faces and traumatizing people and finding them and stuff like that. But it's a part of the storyline. I'm telling you, when things happen, it's very quick. Like is like the water comes in, they start going through the fear and the panic of like, oh, the choice that I made, what's happening, or they may start feeling like, oh, this is it. They may feel the closeness of the exit, and then So they'll feel something. A lot of people will feel like they're about to die. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm about to die. This is about to be it." And then, but it's like this switch goes in your consciousness. So even when you're fighting the water, you're more caught up in the fight than you are in the panic. So you're fighting, but then all of a sudden the fight's over and you're out. So it's not something where where you think like, oh, for 10 minutes and they were so scared and they were all this stuff. It's way faster than that. It's way faster of like a thing. But yeah, to any of us who haven't, or still impending up there at some point that we're going to leave the game, then yeah, it seems horrifying. Like, fuck, that's intense. It used to horrify me as a child. I was so focused on it, like, oh my God, how am I going to die? When am I going to die? How's it happen? It was like, oh my God, this is horrible. And death, it freaked me the fuck out when I was a kid. And so, and that you couldn't get away from it. It's like, fuck, man. You can't hide. It finds you. Even if you go in the closet and you try and hide, the fucking shelves will fall down and crush you. So there's no hiding. So, anyways, but there, it's not something that we need to fear. That's something that we build up ourselves. And that when we realize, we're going home and to trust, it's like, yeah, well, any of us, like, just think of, I see it now like going through a door, because all entrances are portals. It's an entrance to another reality. So I see it kind of like, I don't know how it is. See it kind of like a TSA, but not a TSA, but like in the same sense of traveling, but going through this door. And when you go through the door, it's like this wind. It's like a change in climate. So this wind comes in and blows, so you feel this like pressure for a second, this coldness or something. It's like that. I think that's what. And the thing is that as soon as you come out, you don't feel shit. You don't feel shit because you don't have senses anymore. So you don't feel like where we think, oh my God, all the pain they felt. No, they didn't feel it. They don't feel the pain because they come out of their body real quick. They feel a sense of panic for a minute of like, oh, I'm about to die. They feel the struggle, and then they're just gone. And they don't feel anything. They don't feel pain or anything. Then they're just watching. And I'm sure there was a lot of people watching that hurricane when they came out of their bodies, that they were watching probably from above, and they were probably so tore up about what was happening to the other people, because they're not going to feel bad about themselves. Like, they're fucking home free now, but they're going to be watching and knowing that the devastation that the people are going through who are left behind, the pain that they're going through, that would be a lot more of what they're focused on. So I imagine, you got 65,000 dead people, but you got 65,000 souls that are hanging out with their families right there trying to give support. God, that gets me emotional. Because people just don't realize. They mourn and they are sad for their people that they lost, but they don't realize that their people are right there with them. And they're mourning with you. They wish they could make contact. They wish that they could make you see that they're with you. But a lot of people are disconnected from their feelings, so they don't really feel the person, and then they question their feelings. Like, they start thinking, well, they're crazy. I must be crazy. And I don't know why I'm so irritated about that video I just saw. This girl, she's coming out of the closet as that she really believes in aliens. And it's like, I knew it was going to be, it's just like all of us people who went out there and were laughed at and, kept saying aliens real, and kept trying to tell people, it's just like, now these people that were hiding back, they just want to override and come in with their expertise, like that they've got it all. They just were hiding. They knew all this stuff. It's like, I don't know, that just, so there's going to be a lot of that, though. There's just something where, I don't know, they've got to be I have no idea. I don't know the motivation on that, really. It just, I just know, like, for so fucking long, like decades, like, you know, I'm trying to even think, was there any time where there was, like, I was talking about something, because I always would say, always. And if there was any time when there was somebody who, went against the laughing and said, oh, she's right, there is aliens. Come on, you guys. I don't think so. I think that any of the stuff that I said, I believed in, and now I'm seeing other people saying, how is it that you say I don't believe in God because I say I'm not a Christian? How do you say that that's not God? See what I'm saying? And so, but going through that, because that was already went through that fucking decades ago, and where people will tell you don't believe in God. So then, and then reincarnation. Well, you're completely a wackadoo, psychopath. Then you can't tell people that you talk to. I mean, when I would even tell people, well, I thought everybody did. So I thought everybody had the same communication I did. So I didn't even know it was something to talk about before. I just couldn't understand, like, what was wrong with people's thinking. And so then you start thinking, is it mine? Like, what the hell? And but the reincarnation, that that's idiotic. That aliens, you're a complete idiot if you believed in aliens. You're a complete idiot, moron, if you believe in Bigfoot. All of those things, And I would always claim it. I would always say, because I knew. So, anyways, and I would be just groups of people who would laugh at you and make fun of you. And you just have to, just, I don't know. There's people who kill themselves over people bullying them and making fun of them and stuff like that. You gotta, some of this stuff has got to be teaching people some things. So as people bully you over the truth when they don't know the truth. And and then you got these people that just come out and try and say, oh, no, that was the truth. I don't know. I think, if you've been somebody who has been like that, just claim it. Say, yeah, I didn't believe in aliens. I thought that was sounding wacky, man. And I thought anybody who said it was an idiot. Then say it. Be truthful. Be honest. And to me, it's kind of like those of us who were being picked on during all of that time over that, it does become like a part of, like, you should apologize instead. Instead of saying, well, I'm coming out of the closet now, maybe you should say, I'm sorry to all of you people who were out there saying it from the fucking rooftops. And I was down there laughing and pointing that, we wish we would have listened to you guys or whatever. It just is always this thing that switches like that. It's just, I don't know, that has always annoyed me. Because I just got so annoyed. Like, I don't know. There's a part of me that's probably petty or something. Because when I had gone to this concert, it was an 80s concert. And it was in Dallas. And I was with one of those old friends of mine from when I was a kid. And so we went to go see this old 80s concert of, I think it was a band that, I can't think of the name of them, but they were in all those movies like Valley Girl and stuff. And so when because her and I were the ones that we went out to all the, like, punk stuff and stuff back then. And there was like no people. And when there started being more like 80s bands, there started being bigger concerts and stuff, but still it was very small crowds. And then when you go and all of a sudden it's just like all these people, and then I don't know, it really irritated me because it was like, where were all of you people? And now they all act like, they're the first ones that found them or something, like it's their thing. I don't know. I know that is a thing for a lot of us too. because we'll be really irritated. Like if there's some band, and we love them, or some comedian or whatever, and we love them, and then we're telling everybody about them, and then all of a sudden, that they blow up in some way, and then everybody loves them, and then it's all of a sudden, it doesn't matter. I don't know. There's just like, well, I found them first. Well, I tried to tell you guys first. I showed you, and then I don't know. It's like a lost appreciation or something. I don't know. I don't even know why it has an effect on, I don't know why it irritates me. Guess I'll just try and figure it out more because I have no idea. But it definitely irritates me because that really irritated me this morning when she said that. I was just like, oh my God, that just is how it flashes through my head too. Like all these people make fun of people and then they just turn around and be like, we're going to skip that. We're going to, I never did that. I would never say anything. Well, that's also, keeping your mouth shut when something's happening and somebody's being made fun of if you don't believe it and then you don't stand up. So, anyways, all these different parts that people are going to be showing and however it affects you, that's how you got to work through how it affects you. And it doesn't mean it's wrong or right. There's no wrong or right. It's just looking at like, why does that affect me? Why do I give a shit? I don't give a shit. But obviously I do on something, or it wouldn't bite at me. It wouldn't nag at me. And so it wouldn't keep coming and being there. And I don't know, the girl who did it, whenever I've seen her videos, I don't follow her because I would always seem like, God, she's got this arrogant air to her. It's like snotty kind of arrogance. And I think it was because of some of the stuff that I had heard her say a couple years ago. Is some of the people who have these biases on some of this stuff, some of the stuff they say, it's just like, oh my God. I think hers was something a while back. I think that she is somebody who's like all for, removal of babies. Oh, we need our rights kind of person. And so those people have really said some wacky shit. And they don't even realize some of the wacky shit that they've said. But anyways, so all this stuff is going to keep going. The map's going to keep changing. It's going to change this week, I think. We're going to see fucking, I think they're going to really try and wipe Florida out this week. I don't know how much, I don't know. Because however it's supposed to go, it's supposed to hit Wednesday. And it's supposed to, and we still have these CMEs coming. We still have all these fucking missiles going. There's footage of these ships going over where these missiles are, and the missiles are disappearing. So that would be the aliens involved. We got that going. There's dragons being seen in places. And remember, everything's realms and realities. So everything is happening. Everything is, it's like topsy-turvy. And it's like we are in the storm. The storm is a brewing. And so I'm expecting there's going to be mass devastation this week on the storms. And there's going to be way more death, way more loss. And people have really got to stop thinking of things in the material sense of things. People got to get way more into, we're lucky to be alive. We're lucky we get another day to start over. There's just so many people who don't. And then there's so many people that get caught up in what they lost, like all their material things and stuff. But those are the things you got to let go of. Those are the things that, hold you into doing crazy shit. And it's like, it is an evaluation all the time. But I know that a door will open. Door will open when you're supposed to go somewhere. And every time I start thinking of where to go, how to get there, what to do, it's like all the doors are closed. I can't see anything. Yeah, I have my daughters who say, oh, yeah, move over here. But I know that they have a motivation. Yeah, of course they want me to come live by them and then come hang out with me. And I can babysit and they trust me and stuff like that. So, yeah, of course, with a little kid, who doesn't want their mom to be around? So I know that is, that they would really want me to be there. But then when I think about it, it's like, well, it's not like I don't see my life, the future of just being the babysitter for my daughters. So that was a part of why I even left Spokane before, was because I felt like that's all that I was of use to my kids, was to be a babysitter. And it's like, I want, you guys want to spend time with me ever? And then I thought, well, moving away, then when they come spend time with me, it'll be more valuable time. It will be more like they'll sit and talk to me and stuff like that. But, I mean, they came a few times. Everybody's got their own life. I'm not saying like, oh, you kids have to come over here and entertain me and make me feel like I have value and stuff. No, it's up to me to create my own value. I'm not saying it's up to them, but it's just like I thought that things would play out in a different way. And then it's been confusing to me too, as like, what's going to happen when I've come over here and I've done all this work and stuff, and this place has been so much a part of my healing, and then being like, man, what's next? Is this place going to be gone? Is this the ending? Am I supposed to be going? Am I supposed to be fixing it? Like, I have just all these questions, still to me. And but that map today made me feel like, well, maybe I'm gonna still be here. Maybe that's why no doors are opening. Maybe tsunami's gonna come in, the water's gonna come up, they're gonna wash out this whole coastline. I mean, I don't want to sound harsh, even though it's gonna sound harsh, but you got to look also at the positives of when they just wash out a whole shoreline, because when you see what these people are trying to do over there and cleaning up the mess, it's like, you guys, sometimes you got to just abandon ship and move to a new place. That is what the earth's trying to urge you to do. And that's why another storm is going to bumper right in. And it's just so crazy why they're sitting here trying to clean it up, and another one's going to come right through. And it's going to just hit worse. This is just going to, things are going to get worse and worse and worse. It's not going to get better. There's no going back. There's no fixing it. Everything is just going to go worse and worse and worse. And and I can't just say, oh, well, everybody should have started homesteading a couple years ago, because there's homesteads that are being wiped out by these storms. There's lots of people out here in these little mountain things that have gone, off-grid people and stuff that are being decimated. But also don't forget that once people go out and they know, when they can live in the mountains in winter, they can survive some shit. So, I'm sure that it's so wild too when you think about this. This is like up in the mountains, this water. It's mental. Like, and then this whole thing, it's just so much absurdity that is happening around us, like fucking, you send all this money to Lebanon, where we go, these fucking people, it's so fucking devastating. They're crying, they've lost everything, people can't find their families, the whole families are being found dead, whole fucking, like, it's just so much horrible shit, man. And then our people, our government isn't doing anything. And that's what Mom Todd was fucking freaking out about. And I just am like, what in the hell with these people who are so mad at her? That they're all for this government just because it's blue? Like, what? Where are they doing something? Where is the positive thing that is happening that they're doing? Like, where is your logic? Where is your common sense? Like, look into things. These people with their biases, man. And then they just start in with this fucking, these MAGAs. There's all these videos of, Mama Tot, she's just believing all these MAGAs and spreading misinformation. So you think that only MAGAs were involved in this situation? So just racist and MAGAs, and then even when you want to go to another level of that, well, isn't that convenient? Who is going to be being wiped out, but right before, a couple weeks before this thing? That is where we all would need to stand up and go, no, we're not having this thing in November. And you can't say that to the general populace, because the general populace wants the other guy in, but they don't realize the other guy is in. He just has no power because he's overridden by these other people. The only people he has power with is the military, and I still feel like something is going to be shown about that. And if that's going to have to do with this, because they've been low-key showing this all the time. Low-key showing like his what is that, his entourage of vehicles that go with him and stuff. it's quite obvious it's the guy in charge, the real guy. These other people, they are plants. They are the system is there to protect them. Media and stuff, like, I just can't even believe, like, when people sit there, like the one who's now leaking out this thing about, oh, it was calmless cocaine, is they were over at the White House doing an interview or something. There's no motherfucking way that anybody's going to convince me that anybody's in the motherfucking White House doing interviews and they're in the fucking room doing their fucking press releases and bullshit. Bullshit. They're on a fucking soundstage somewhere. And people who are meeting this fella in person and trying to pretend like it's not a guy in a mask. I don't know. There's got to be so many of these people are just playing along. It's too ridiculous. So it's got to be a part of the wake up of other people who don't realize that this stuff is going on and the ridiculousness behind it. It's so fucking absurd. So anyways, was there anything else? Because there's so much stuff. It seems like that there was something else I was going to say about something. But there is tons of stuff. And when they say about watch the water, I think that we can clearly see why they were saying watch the water. And Donald had a rally yesterday, and I heard a second, because it was like every video, like there's so many live videos of it. And so I heard him say that we're going to be freer than we've ever been. We are going to build back everything. It's going to be better. So you got to keep that in mind as we're losing things. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's going to get stuff back, and they're going to get back better. And the parts that you lose, well, you're always going to lose them. You can't take them with you when you die. So it's just you're losing them ahead and processing through, so you don't carry that with you. And so it's this, life review while you're still alive. So anyways, but he was very much like, things are going to get better. Then I think it's some tweets or something, maybe with the watch the water, because that is coming. There's, I don't know. I just say expect a lot of crazy shit this week, even maybe today. And to expect there's going to be more devastation, and none of us know for sure. Like, we know that there's this Melvin, whatever the fuck, is headed in. It's going to destroy. He's coming in to take some people with him. So there's going to be a lot of destruction. So there's going to be a lot more death over there. But I still say something's going to go on over here. Something on the West Coast is going to go. I don't know if it's going to be a tsunami from an earthquake across the region, if it's going to be our own earthquake, if it's going to be a volcano starting to erupt, or what is going to be. If it's something, or it's going to be that the missiles are going to like take out some cities or something. And that's going to be the thing, is anything can go. And there is people who are starting to realize the days that we're in. We're in the end days, but it's not the end of. It's the end of the time of what we've been taught. It's the end of this old world. It's not the end of us. It's not the end of man. Man is shifting. We're shifting out of one reality and going into another reality. And so this is the transition to get there. But I know that a lot of people are so programmed to think like the end times is that the end of everything. It's, the end of the world. Oh yeah, this is kind of cool, because in the Antarctica, there's all sorts of green that is starting to show up. So there's being green that is being, so that is because the Antarctica is thought to believed to be like an island kind of thing with all sorts of animals and stuff. And so it's kind of like a transition area, I think, of leaving this realm. And so there's other realms out around there. But so it's, so anyways, I feel like that is a part of this transition. It's part of the pole shift. You got all these people out watching now, because there's people saying there's no moon. The moon's gone. And there was 2 moons. Now there's no moons. And now you got people out there all over the place trying to find the moons. So we got all this stuff because the sun's going to go on in the sky. And we've got these these whatever, these CMEs coming, and then all of our energy is interacting with all that. So we're sending this energy out, and this energy is coming back. It's all this reverberation of energy that is happening. So, and it's going to keep raising intensity, and that's going to cause more intensity here. It's going to cause people's intensity, but it's going to cause the intensity to the storms and everything, just how everything feels. So you just got to keep rolling with the punches, keep going with the flow. And you can't get caught up in the dramas. When you really start getting caught up or feeling super sad or whatever, just got to go in and look at yourself and heal through those things and really get a grasp on what's happening here. And it has to happen the way it's happening. It's out of our control. There's nothing we can do. And we can't save, it says everybody's saving themselves situation, and it was pre-planned. It's predestined. So there's nothing, it's not like, we're suddenly somebody and go, oh, I'm going to save myself. Well, then you were always going to save yourself. So everything is the way it's going to be. And the people that are leaving, there's nothing that we could do to save them. There was nothing that was going to change. And a lot of them, are, like I said, they're with their families right now, trying to help their families through it, because this is all about this awakening. It's all about this releasing of all of this old pain and suffering that we've been carrying as souls through a lot of different lives. And so it is, a big, powerful time for the soul's evolution. And so that's how involved it is, that you got people who are leaving just to be there to help the other people. So, it's just this whole big thing. But that's what everything is all about. When everything we're losing, we will be replaced. And it will be replaced with better. And we will be free. And most people don't even understand what freedom is. And it's going to be, it's going to be deluxe, man. I got a taste of it because I got kicked out of the workforce. And it is the way to go. Like, to have your own time, to be in charge of your own time, to go out and explore yourself, to go out and find what you're good at, what you enjoy doing. That's what life's all about, man. And so, anyways, when you're going through all this stuff, you gotta just keep on focusing back on yourself, and keep remembering what you're doing here. Learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So I'll talk to you in the morning. See you later. Bye.